Hello, how are you, Sanji? What's
Hello,
up?
hello,
I'm
Adan.
so happy to see you again. It's been a while.
Yeah, yeah, very nice to see you also. How are
I
you
know,
doing?
I know. I'm great. I'm great. Studying a lot. Just finished my first year in grad school for counseling psychology, so I'm really happy about that. Learning and growing and applying everything I'm acquiring of the knowledge to my life now, and just very grateful. Grateful to live with my parents and share with them. And Puerto Rico's a beautiful place to be.
Mm-hmm.
How about you?
Oh, as I told you, like I came to a place a bit of the central part in Sri Lanka, and
Hmm.
yeah, I'm trying to help some retreat base to structure some retreat base uh, for meditation. And then while that time, I had like a very relaxing time actually. It's a cabana in the forest, so. It's a bit far from the main areas also. And yeah, I could do a lot of meditation. And there are a lot of nice animals around, birds. And so, yeah, and I had the freedom to write like some books also about meditation. And I'm now doing the other one about chakra meditations.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was a good thing.
What kind of takeaways do you have of like working with people that want to learn from you? Like what's like a recurring theme that you're seeing in people that are growing from what you're teaching them?
Many people come then for kind of like they are tired, but from what they are going through. Many people are quite young that I met, but there were other people also middle age like that also who come here. So usually it was like a lot of people. This is a center for actually yoga retreats. So many people come on that like groups to practice yoga, and so they are mostly like from European countries, and they are in a way like they are already coming with that mind frame to practice yoga or meditation like that. So
Hey,
yeah, sorry about that. Never
it's
mind.
okay.
Adan, you will continue. If
No, it's
there,
okay.
yeah.
So what I think is that, well, when maybe you should take off, or me too, we could take off our camera, because
Uh-huh.
it'll, how do I say, like when you take off the camera, it needs less
Let,
signal from the Wi-Fi to be able to work. So I think if it's just with voice, will be good.
okay.
So let's do that.
Okay.
Okay, let's
Yeah,
see if that
yeah, the internet is
better.
very bad today. We had
It's
like
okay.
a lot of rains, and I think it's covered by mist now, and it's at a high elevation also.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, I can imagine.
and we have another mountainside covering the opposite direction, which is supposed to have the towers.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's not like in the best of positions to receive internet.
There's this app. I gotta send it to you. I think it's like Opus something, and it
Uh-huh.
uses AI. Like you could put in like a voice recording, and then with AI, it creates like images and like a video.
Ah, okay.
So maybe we can do that as well
Ah.
for in the meantime.
Yeah.
But all right, we're recording. Let's keep going.
Sure, sure.
So what was the key takeaways like of people that have come to learn from you? What's like a recurring theme of things that they want to learn and that you've taught them?
So there were many people who wanted to have some relaxation because they seem very tired and from what things are happening around the world. And some people maybe in their 20s or between 30s, they uh, some people seemed lost, and then there were some people like who had some they had gone in some particular path, and then they were like trying to shift around, but still they had things like anxiety, these kind of things that they have to counter. So yeah, and then when you introduce something like meditation, you can see their faces and all this environment is also really helpful, and they do yoga also. So when you teach them very simple meditations also, like you can see the happiness, and then they say like, oh, it's so wonderful. And what I try to do is like, it's not just for the center, no. I want to give them something that they can take back and really practice practically. So some simple methods, but if somebody really wants to go deep, they can still do that also. But the idea is like to give them some tools which are practical and not just when sitting or in one meditation posture, like in their day-to-day life or when they go back to their homes or uh, places they work, they can use them.
Yeah, I mean, and like when they go home from work to work and they could use what they're learning from you, you, I believe that the anxiety aspect to be able to go from the future into the present moment, that is when we can start saying, instead of like what if that happens, or what if that bad thing happens or occurs, to even if that bad thing happens, I'll be okay.
That's so true. Because anxiety is usually associated with the future, no?
Exactly. Worry.
Yeah. And there are so many things people can get worried about. Even uncertainty itself, right?
Of course, of course. And I think that also it's in the diet. Like I've experienced
Mm-hmm.
that glucose levels and those insulin spikes when we have something very sweet as our first meal,
Mm-hmm.
it will put us in that neurotic, anxious state. Not everybody, but for the people that are sensitive,
Uh-huh.
that sort of neurotic, anxious state of that like glucose spike, and it's kind of like difficult for some people to come back to the present moment when they have that like mega pancake breakfast in the day in the
Uh-huh.
morning.
Yeah, yeah. And the things that are around these days are like really artificial, no? And a lot of chemicals
Oh man,
and
I
processed.
think I'm not gonna get into the rabbit hole of like the
Uh-huh.
food that they're giving in the United States,
Uh-huh.
but if there's only one thing I could say is that sugar, like refined and processed sugar, is not good for us.
Yeah.
Just because it's refined sugar, it's not from fruit. When it's refined sugar, it's inflammatory.
Mm-hmm.
It'll inflame your gut, it'll inflame your joints, it'll inflame your skin, it'll
Mm-hmm.
inflame, and just what I just said about the insulin spike, it'll make your emotions, not your emotions, but it'll make people's emotions that are sensitive to it, they'll be
Uh-huh.
anxious. So sugar is a very should be used with caution
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
sparingly. Fruit is always the better option, and honey if you have to.
Uh-huh.
But that's a whole rabbit hole that
Yeah,
we
no?
we could go down another day.
Sure.
But I think that when we're talking about self-actualization,
Mm-hmm.
it will begin on a hierarchy. It's like when I say self-actualization, people that are familiar with the psychological and philosophical literature of humanism,
Mm-hmm.
they will or we will start thinking about Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've heard of it. Have you heard of it?
A little bit, eh?
Okay, so basically, what it is that the first level is physiological necessities, right?
Mm,
Like food, drink,
mm, sleep.
sleep, even sex, but not necessarily completely. That's not necessary.
And
Um,
shelter, no?
and shelter. And then, well, shelter is on the next level, which is safety. So
Mm,
safety would be like shelter. It would be safety from being in like a war-stricken zone, like no, like a neighborhood without violence, where you're completely having to fight for your life every day, and you'll be, on edge.
mm,
The next level is affiliation,
mm,
which is basically a sense of belonging.
mm,
And affiliation isn't necessarily I need to have a relationship with someone, or I need to be making love with somebody, or even getting married. I feel
mm,
that affiliation is more, the focus can be more on, do I have a sense of belonging with my community or
mm,
my family or my friends? And then comes recognition.
mm,
And prior to me going to grad school, and even when I was an artist, I had always had present the idea and the notion of recognition and fame and validation. And living in the society that we are these days with so much social media, I have seen that many people make their value contingent upon how many followers and how many likes and views they get.
mm,
And it's not the case. So recognition, all it needs to be is a chosen few. It could be two or three people that you trust, that you value their opinion. And the most important recognition is for you to recognize yourself and knowing you're doing the best you can. And then the basically the second to last level on the hierarchy is self-actualization.
mm,
Many people who aren't on the spiritual path will stay at self-actualization, which is incredible and
mm,
wonderful to be there. Um, and the people that are true searchers of spiritual development, enlightenment, bliss, samadhi, nirvana, satori, all these higher levels of consciousness that the great yogis, and I'm certain you're aware of many of them, because you were one and you are one and a monk. The transcendence is that final level where you immerse yourself into the infinite and become your fullest potential on planet Earth or any three-dimensional planes.
yeah, no, it's like self act. So how can I become the fullest version? No, like so it goes beyond that survival instinct and
It
then
goes beyond.
beyond, right? So and then it goes to like uh how can I live fully, no?
Of course.
Yeah.
How
So
can how can you live fully?
uh, uh, so when you see like that like you mentioned, no, like different stages of these like these famous psychologists and all have mentioned. of philosophers have mentioned, no? So you can see like with uh, they are like genuinely like being themselves, no? And they don't consistently, like you said, don't want to perform for approval, right? The authenticity is there. So in
Exactly.
one stage or another, like we tend to realize this, no? At very young stages, we didn't know, no? And at school or something, or any kind of like, we seek that, but at some point you come to a realization that is not what you want, no? Or need actually. And then the genuine self or the genuineness comes out, and you don't mind what the world is going running towards, right?
Right, right, and it's you're at that point. One is not dependent. One is not dependent upon the validation of other people to know that one is enough.
Surely. And things like acceptance, no?
Of course, it's acceptance, and it's also hold on. It's acceptance, and it's also self determination. Because if we're constantly depending on other people to know that we're enough and to be motivated, we're going to be miserable because everybody has their own, as like Carl Rogers, which is another humanistic psychologist,
Mm-hmm.
one of the founders of it, if not the founder. He says that we all have, I know how to say it in Spanish, condiciones positivos de valía. Like, I don't know how to translate it. Let me see if I could do it. It's conditions upon how conditions upon how people will view you as valuable.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody has their own standards. They're like, oh, you're valuable if you're rich, or oh, you're valuable if you get straight A's, or oh, you're valuable if you're famous, or if you have a lot of followers. And really, the most important is for us to recognize that we have inherent value no matter what people say about us,
Mm-hmm.
or without depending on other people to show us that we're valuable.
Mm-hmm. And then how do you think like it is like some people can over-assess themselves and then or like be in a deluded stage, no? And then they can think that kind of thinking also, right? How can we like have the genuine uh, confidence or the thinking as such?
How could we what? How could we think like that?
No, the acceptance, like or the satisfaction about who we are without the approval of others, right?
I mean, yeah, I feel that this it's easier said than done,
Uh-huh.
but when one realizes that you are always going to have yourself, no matter what people do, and it goes back to stoicism from Seneca and Marcus Aurelius, right? Like there are things that we're not in control of,
Mm-hmm.
and once we surrender the need to depend on those things that we can't control, that's where we start depending on ourselves for our well-being.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and we can't control if people appreciate us, or we can't control how people treat us. Maybe we can be a catalyst so that they could be like more, loving to us if we're loving to them. But in the end, we're really not in control of anything outside of us but ourselves.
Yeah, and in a way, like we have to accept what happens. No, we can put in the effort and do it in a very good way, but the outcome sometimes is as it is, right? So, in a way, like we accept, we put our maximum effort for good things, and then try our very best, no? And still the outcome can vary because of many, many reasons, right? So, but
Yeah.
we can genuinely accept as it is, no?
Mm-hmm.
Because we
You accept
know,
you. It's a radical accept
sorry?
that it's a radical acceptance and a surrender.
Some things go beyond our range, no? And even if we try,
Exactly.
sometimes that is how it is, right? Some say a farmer or somebody puts his whole effort and tries to grow, but some flood or some drought or something comes along. It's nothing to do with him, no? It's not his fault or anything,
Exactly.
you know? And just example, but in our lives also we try, but there are things that are out of our range, no?
Yeah. And also, there's the aspect of karma,
Surely.
good karma, bad karma, destiny, fate. We have our free will, but at the same time, you have the role of certain things by reincarnation that we're coming on this earth with a purpose to learn specific lessons. Things that are going to happen no matter what, good and bad. And
Hmm.
in that sense, we can use that mentality of stoicism to be like, okay, I can't control these things that have to happen. So I'm going to love myself and I'm going to focus on my inner well-being, which is really the only thing that I have full control over.
Yeah, when you talk about karma and all, it's yeah really important because some things, if people believe in past lives and all, uh, but even if they don't believe, it happens. No, that's the thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, so maybe this person tries to be a good person in this life, but there can be bad karma he or she accumulated in the past lives, and they come into effect. Then the but we can still have our standards, and we know we are a good human being. We are trying our very best, but still there can be difficulties or obstacles. But that doesn't mean that a person is a failure, or it doesn't mean that they already always have to be according to the social standards, no? And in their way, and in the end, like it really doesn't matter, right? If we try to keep a social standard or something, but we can live at our own pace, no? If we are comfortable and if we are not doing any bad, and if we are helping others and doing all the good, we can live at our own. And we realize this at some point in life also, no? Like we are not here to like
Yeah.
please others, right? Or we cannot even know the same people who may praise will blame for maybe just one mistake or one thing forgotten or something like that.
Right. And it's like an energetic law, right? Like the Kabbalion for Hermes Trismegistus, the Egyptian philosophy goes way back, called the three times great.
Uh-huh.
He talked about how there is the poles, right? Like if there's immense good on planet Earth, there's also immense bad, right? So as above, so below, as within, so without. If something is very, very good, eventually that polar shift is going to go into the very, very bad. And it's the law of rhythm.
Mhm.
So I've seen it politically. I'm not going to get into the rabbit hole of politics because we're
Yeah,
not going to
yeah.
talk about that. But because we're spiritual and it's a different podcast. But what I can say is energetically and karmically in the world, there are laws, and I've seen that if something is on one extreme politically, eventually the opinion and the votes will go to the other way
Mhm,
until there
mhm.
could be a balance of that pendulum swing.
Uh-huh.
And the same goes for the inner world, which is if I depend completely on external validation to tell me that I'm good, and people are like, "Oh, congratulations, you're doing so amazing. You're so great. You're so smart. You're so talented." By the same way, when that support and that praise dissipates for whatever reason beyond our control,
Mm-hmm.
and then something like then we are, since we gave so much importance and self identity and value upon the external opinion, we are automatically going to be as affected to the other pole of negative feeling if somebody starts criticizing us or judging us or taking us down. And circling back to social media, it's the same thing because you have these celebrities that are like, their whole self identity is depending upon if people like their videos and comment on their videos. But since they're getting so much importance, when the haters and the trolls start commenting, they're very hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the solution for that is just not to depend on external validation for anything
Mm-hmm.
of self love for ourselves.
Yeah. So it's like self-worth, right? Um,
A self what?
self-worth, no? Self-worth.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And India's appreciation, no? They uh yeah. So we tend to appreciate more what we have, and the capacity to like think more, no, like beyond the limitations. So and even ordinary experiences can feel more meaning towards them, like rather than just dismissing them or anything. uh, we can seek deep into those things that are happening in life also, just rather than just regarding them as ordinary, because everything has something unique and special within them.
There is divinity. There's uniqueness and specialness and divinity in every single quote unquote trivial situation or experience in life. And I've seen that it is those little things that can give meaning. And then we're getting into the existential aspect of philosophy and psychology and spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
So a life with meaning is a life of purpose. It's a life of being aware of life, death, and suffering, and at the same time being able to face it bravely with self love and gratitude to be able to make the best out of everything and just continue with those goals and that path and that purpose that will inevitably make one fulfilled.
Yeah, and this self actualization is like it's never ending, no? Like you can go on, no, in any direction, proper direction. Uh, it's not like a end, no, like not like you come to some closing point, no? Physically, mentally, all these things you can explore it, and you keep on learning, no? Uh, and the growth, it's kind of like you learn more, you gain more wisdom, uh, you you gain more maturity, no? These kind of things or experiences. It's growing, no, all the time. Maybe lifespan to lifespan within this life or period also. It just grows, right?
Of course. And it is that soul journey, right? That hero's journey that Joseph Campbell would talk about.
Uh-huh.
That journey from the purity and from the safety of the home venturing out into the world to be able to fight one's own shadow. And that would
Mm-hmm.
be more from the Carl Jung psychodynamic perspective, as a very spiritual student of Freud. And on that, facing the shadow within oneself and being able to learn and struggle and go through ups and downs and inevitably suffer to be able to find that gold, find that self-actualization, find that prize, if so to say.
Mm-hmm.
Not that the prize shouldn't be something external. The prize should be that self-love and that recognition that one gives it oneself. That's the real prize.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that you did your best, knowing that you're showing up day after day when you don't want to show up for yourself, but you do it anyways.
Mm-hmm. And it's good you brought that point because it will be a good shift to the next topic also, no? Because the
Yeah,
motivation, no?
of
Uh,
course.
it because you enjoy it, no? You kind like you find it meaningful, enjoying, no? The natural interest. It's not forcibly done. So, what do you think about intrinsic motivation, Adan?
Oh, I'm so glad you mentioned it because you know, and the people that have followed my career have seen that I've started off as an actor, then I transitioned to music, well, I did musical theater, and I lived a life that was very, very extrinsically motivated.
Mm-hmm.
Like we are the artists our nutrition is the applause of the audience.
Mm-hmm.
And then living in pop culture, we are dependent upon that exterior applause to be able to know we're enough. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what, like, the fame is. If people that are on earth with a sole purpose of living for fame, that's extrinsic motivation. Uh, just for the external the external satisfaction factors.
Mm-hmm.
That is what hold on one second, my dog.
Sure.
Give me a sec. So those external satisfaction factors, right? People that live just for the money. Not that I did, but we were in social circles where I've seen that what was valued most was how much money are you making, how famous are you, how powerful are you, how influential are you, and
Mm-hmm.
these are the sort of, back to Carl Rogers, is like the condiciones de varia, the value, the conditions upon if you are valuable or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that that's wrong or that it just is. Some people are extrinsically motivated, and that's perfectly fine. And other people are intrinsically motivated. And I found that transitioning into academia to become a psychologist, and especially now in grad school, I found immense intrinsic motivation to do things just for me.
Mm-hmm.
When I would sing for the audience and just for the applause, now I sing maybe for my dad, maybe for my mom, but I don't sing for audiences much anymore. I just like I do it for me. I felt that intrinsic motivation is doing something without any external reward, but doing it just because you like doing it for yourself.
And was it
No
easy
praise,
for
no
you to,
validation.
sorry. Yeah.
No, it's okay. Go on, go on.
No, was it easy for you to transition from that to this? From
I mean, I don't know if it was easy or hard. I just felt like it was a transition that God put me through. Life put me through the transition. I didn't decide to do it myself. It's something that just happened to me without me trying.
Uh-huh.
Have there been moments where I was like, I wish it could have worked out some other way, or I'm happy it worked out this way? I don't know.
Uh-huh.
All I know is that it's happened the way this has happened, and I am happy that way.
Uh-huh.
And I don't think fame or being a famous singer or actor anymore. Relative fame. I wasn't very famous, but I was famous enough to have, a following and to know what
Uh-huh.
it's like to have fans and to do autographs and go on red carpets. Like I experienced that. I
Uh-huh.
big venues. I've sung for good venues as well. I've had really good experiences singing with my dad and
Uh-huh.
prestigious studios, good artists, really good songwriters as well. It was a great run. I think I did
Uh-huh.
I did the best that I could with the elements that I had, and I'm very satisfied with my career in show business and how far I came. And I'm grateful that I did prepare myself as an actor and theater actor and television, because now those skills that I learned in performing arts school, I take it with me everywhere.
Mhm.
The ability to talk in front of a camera or talk in front of a big audience, it's a skill that is developed, and I did it for a decade.
Uh-huh.
So I love oral presentations, and I love, getting up and doing public speaking, because it really does bring me back to my theater roots.
Mhm.
And even though I'm not on the path for even though I'm on the path for intrinsic motivation, which is the motivation of I want to help people, I want to study psychology, I want to be a therapist. The audience aspect of my career will be in the classroom as a professor.
Ah, yeah, no.
And it's not for fame. Really, it's not for fame. But at this point, it's to help the next generation of professionals to be able to learn and enjoy growth and acquire knowledge that will change their lives for the better, as my professors have changed my life for the better.
Mhm. And we do these things like because we like it or actually enjoy it and love it, no? That brings so much energy. If somebody, for example, like meditation or studies, like you said, no, and or even creations, no, like they do it, so it's not like tiring. It's not like a chore. No, it's not like so you can get a lot of satisfaction through that. No, some people like to help people or community service, no, like those things. So they do it with a passion, no, and there's a lot of you love what you do. So in a way, like if you get to do something as a profession also, uh, a thing what you love, that will be very nice. No, that is actually one of the best choices. No, people can have to really as a profession to do what they love. No.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When
Very.
one does what they love, they could do it for the rest of their life.
Uh, and it doesn't become like a job. No.
Right? It doesn't become a job, it becomes
uh,
a vocation. It becomes a vocation, and it becomes a path that one takes for the love of it. And I felt that people that are doing what they love are nicer and more loving people to the other people around them,
uh,
just because they're not being pressured by anybody to do something that's not resonating with who they are.
mhm.
And I think that's a big leap forward when one says, you know what, I'm going to do what I want. I'm not going to live for anybody's expectations. I'm gonna do something that makes me happy.
Otherwise, it can become very artificial, and the creative aspects and all, even the learning aspects. I remember when we were small, we had these subjects and we didn't really like them. So you don't feel like you're exploring them. You just do for the examinations, and that's it, no? And you don't want to even touch those subjects no more. Uh,
I mean, yeah. I mean, they do it so that there could be like a well-rounded education for like everybody that wants to go in either direction that they want to go through, and that's fine. So, I mean, when I graduated high school, I really wanted to be famous. Like I really wanted to be a star, and my parents supported me in that. And
mhm,
I ended up going to Mexico to, pursue acting and singing and dancing, and it was a great run. I learned a lot. I think Mexico was a beautiful experience for me.
uh-huh,
And getting in touch with my roots as well, because I really hadn't connected or even met my father's side of the family in Mexico. So that was really nice to
uh-huh,
be able to get in touch with my roots, as I did in Puerto Rico with my mom's side.
mhm, mhm. Like you
But
mentioned,
yeah,
sorry, yes, please.
so, no, go on, you go.
Who like the psychologists? There are people who mentioned about this. How to say, inner motivation, right?
Yeah, I mean, the essence of learning, a big part of the essence of learning and motivation is understanding the difference between that inner locus of control or the outer locus of control. And the
Mhm,
people who are inner driven, they know that their success is dependent upon things they can control. And that's even circling back to the stoicism again.
mhm,
If you know that the success that you're achieving is because of your hard work, you're going to be more motivated.
mhm,
But if one sees that they're succeeding because they were just born with a gift, or because they were born into a family that's influential and they really didn't work hard to get it, there's going to be a bit of a void there emotionally.
mhm,
And it happens a lot with the next generation of influential and billionaire children.
mhm,
um a billionaire and a millionaire father or mother, it is in their best interest to motivate their children to be able to get their own, how do I say, motivated to be hungry for success by their own merit,
mhm, mhm,
and instill upon their kids the skills and the knowledge to be able to take that legacy to the next level. And it's really, if you think of the Ivy League schools, it really doesn't have anything to do with like the curriculum or what they're learning, or any of that. It's mostly like what's the networking and what kind of people are you going to be surrounding yourself with.
mhm,
But in reality, the most important motivator for me is not money. I know I know that I'll be making, a decent living as a psychologist and when I get my doctorate as well.
mhm,
But Henry James Thoreau said very wisely, he how to say he is richest whose pleasures are the cheapest.
uh-huh,
So if my pleasure is to sit on the beach reading a book with my girlfriend or my dog,
mhm,
and that's what makes me feel rich, I'm gonna be wealthy with that simple pleasure.
mhm,
And that's really all that matters to me. To be with the people I love, to be with my dog, to be with my brother, to be with my friends. And if the right woman comes along, she comes along and she'll add to my life and we'll support each other.
Mm-hmm.
So my mentor, Marcos, I call him Sensei.
Uh-huh.
He he had told me when I was like trying to, using visualization and manifestation for what I wanted to achieve in my life. He says, if you want wealth, understand that there are a million ways to be a millionaire. And
Mm.
like I'm like, wow, like you could be a millionaire in health, you could be a millionaire in love, you could be a millionaire in relationships, you could be a millionaire in wisdom, you could be a millionaire
Uh-huh.
in possibilities to be able to live a fulfilled life. And it doesn't really have to do with money.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
And I saw something Adan called like self-determination theory.
Yes, yes. Tell me about it.
You tell me, like I saw like there are some points like anatomy, competence, relatedness.
Yeah, I haven't delved into self-determination theory, but I do admire somebody who's showed qualities that she's into it, which is the Olympic gold medalist figure skater Alyssa Liu,
Uh-huh.
or she's Chinese American, so it'd be Alisa Liu. That's how you pronounce her name.
Uh-huh.
And she has showed that she is doing what she wants to do on her own terms.
Mm-hmm.
Coming from a background where she had been figure skating since she was very young, being told what to do, being told what to wear, being told what music to skate to. Like she retired. And then when she came back, she says, okay, I'm coming back, but I'm doing this the way I want to do it, not with anybody telling me what to do.
Oh,
And
wow.
she ended up, winning gold medal. And it's such an inspiring tale
Uh-huh.
because she walked away from it all and she realized that she had beautiful friends, she had a wonderful family, she found herself and she worked on herself. And circling back to the self-actualization, somebody who's self-actualized or that's reached transcendence is somebody that can be alone.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say alone, I mean no music, no phone, no TV, no one. Just you sitting down. It could be you driving back in the car from work or from school, from college, or it could be you driving back, or it could just be you sitting in your living room with nobody in the house. And I've noticed that when I'm able to be alone with myself,
Mm-hmm.
I could start coming to conclusions and reflecting upon things that are happening in my life that I wouldn't have been able to get to those conclusions with the chatter of the world around me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but she's super cool. She's very Buddhist in her way of thinking as well,
Uh-huh.
because she really focused on non-attachment, and that was the next topic that we were going to talk about, which
Uh-huh.
is non-attachment, right?
Yeah.
She doesn't need to win the gold medal
Uh-huh.
to be able to know she's enough.
Uh-huh.
And that attitude she gets onto the ice with a complete detachment from outcome. And she says, if I fall, great. She says, I don't care if I fall, I don't care if I lose. I'm perfectly fine losing and falling and messing up. And the anxiety that so many professional skaters and athletes go into their competitions, having had the same amount of preparation as Alisa,
Mm-hmm.
they mess up and they are broken and they're torn when they mess up, but she's not.
Uh-huh.
And that weight that she takes off her shoulders is what makes her such a high performing Olympian.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes from that detachment of, if I fall, or of, if I win or lose, doesn't make me more or less valuable.
Mm-hmm. Then just give
And
me a
that takes
moment,
place.
please. Yeah? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, there was this thing like self-determination, and it was like anatomy, like feeling that your actions are fully your own, like you mentioned, no, not forced, not manipulated or
Mm.
chosen. Then the competence, like feeling capable, effective. Yeah, the example you gave of this lady is fine. Eh? People naturally enjoy
Yeah. Perfect.
mastering challenges, no? And then the relatedness, feeling connected to others, human beings, no, with meaningful relationships. Um, yeah, and then it says like when the needs are met, the motivation tends to rise naturally. And there's a thing called like, oh, sorry about that. Uh, Adan, are you there?
Oh no, I can,
Uh,
sorry, your recording
Adan, have you
stopped.
heard like this in psychology? They say about a flow state, like flow
Hold
state.
on, you're there. Did you stop the recording? Did you stop the recording on purpose?
No, 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 no. Hold on.
Oh, okay, because the recording stopped.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's recording, huh? I hope it doesn't crash again. So, other they talk of a flow state, right? Like flow states, like attention become
Yes.
fully
Yes.
absorbed. You are like your self-conscious fades away. Maybe the example you gave was like fine, no, like the time feels like
It was perfect,
altered.
right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, about that lady. And in my mind, also, you can imagine a person like you see them skating without a bother in the world, no? And according to Adan,
You there?
it keeps
Okay.
crashing again and again, eh?
It's okay. We'll edit it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, shall we try to do the next topic on the next time?
Yeah,
Like
we could do it.
non-attachment? No, it's I'm really
Yeah,
sorry. Eh?
yeah, yeah.
Like
Yeah, we could do it. You're a specialist in non-attachment.
no, but it's wonderful you brought these topics, and that example is totally fine. Eh? And I
Right?
think,
Yeah, that's good.
like in with maturity, people tend to understand, no, and I think through experience and maturity also, like
Uh-huh.
example, people like when they become mature in their field, if they're artists or musicians or writers or no anything, they kind of like even in meditation, no, there are guidelines and all, you should do this, you should do that, but later you find your own way. You use those things as help. This lady you were speaking also, she must have learned somewhere, no, and started somewhere. And then she was like trying to be according to all the guidelines and all, or what requirements, right? Or but expectations, no? And then at some point you free yourself from that, not in a bad way, but you kind of like become like in a way like it's like a bird who releases the feather wings and starts flying, no? From
Right?
entrapment of the nest. But first the nest actually helped it also. But at some
Yeah, because she was prepared. She was definitely prepared, but
Mhm.
getting that independence and getting that strength and grit to be able to say, you know what, I'm done. I don't want this burnout. I don't want people to be telling me what to do.
Mm.
And then she found her true joy being, off the ice. But when she came back with so much force and so much confidence and so much detachment that she won gold medal.
Mhm. Yeah. And the next topic, shall we talk on another day, Adan? I'm really
Yeah,
okay.
let's do it. Let's do it.